David, the future king of Israel, the giant slayer, God's chosen one, was minutes away from slaughtering an entire household in cold blood. And the only thing standing between him and that massacre was one woman, riding out alone to meet 400 armed men. This story starts with a man named Nabal. His name literally means fool, and he lived up to it. Nabal was rich, owning thousands of sheep and goats in the region of Carmel. He was also, according to the Bible, harsh and evil in his dealings. And he was married to a woman completely unlike him, Abigail, described as intelligent and beautiful, a rare combination in the text that signals just how important she's about to become. At this point in the story, David was still on the run, hiding from King Saul, leading a band of 600 men in the wilderness. For months, David's men had protected Nabal's shepherds and flocks out in the fields, asking nothing in return. Now it was harvest time, sheep shearing season, a time of feasting and generosity. So David sent 10 young men to Nabal with a simple, respectful request: give us whatever you can spare. Nabal's answer wasn't just a no. It was an insult, dripping with contempt. Who is David? Who is this son of Jesse? There are many servants nowadays who break away from their masters. Why should I take my bread and water and meat and give it to men I don't even know? In one sentence, Nabal dismissed David as a runaway nobody after months of free protection. When David heard Nabal's response, something in him snapped. He gave the order, every man strap on his sword. 400 armed men mounted up and rode out with one goal: to wipe out every male in Nabal's household by morning. This wasn't a warning. This was a massacre in motion. Meanwhile, back at the estate, one of Nabal's servants ran to Abigail in a panic. He told her everything, how David's men had protected them like a... Abigail didn't panic. She didn't waste time arguing with her husband. She moved fast. She gathered 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 dressed sheep, roasted grain, raisin cakes, fig cakes, loaded it all onto donkeys, and sent it ahead of her. Then she rode out herself, straight toward an approaching army, without telling Nabal a single word. Abigail found David coming down the mountain pass with his men. 400 armed and furious warriors, just minutes from Nabal's estate. She got off her donkey, fell face down before David, and begged him to let the blame fall on her, not on the household. David listened, and something in him shifted. He said, "Blessed be the Lord who sent you to meet me today. If you hadn't come quickly, by morning not one man would have been left alive in Nabal's household." He accepted her gifts, and he turned his men back. No bloodshed, no massacre, no regret he'd carry for the rest of his reign. Abigail returned home to find Nabal drunk, throwing a feast like a king, completely unaware of how close he'd come to death. She said nothing that night. The next morning, when he was sober, she told him everything. And the text says his heart died within him. He became like a stone. 10 days later, the Lord struck him, and he died. When David heard Nabal had died, he sent for Abigail, and she became his wife. The fool who insulted a future king was gone. The woman whose wisdom saved an entire household ended up standing beside the throne. Abigail's story rarely gets the spotlight. No giants, no parted seas, no fire from heaven. Just one woman who moved quickly, spoke wisely, and stopped a good man from doing something he could never undo. Sometimes the most powerful moment in the whole Bible isn't a miracle. It's someone brave enough to get in the way of a disaster before